Greetings, everyone, and welcome. October the 20th, 2025. It is 100% confirmed that President Vladimir Putin has rejected the Donald Trump plan of just drop arms where you are at, leave the point of conflict at the line, and everybody go home and be peaceful. That is rejected. In addition to that, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy also rejects that plan, and in a unique turn, once again, just minutes ago, Donald Trump saying that Ukraine could possibly win the war. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you facts only as we try to unravel what is happening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing. You guys have no idea how much it helps when you take a moment to do that for us to share the message. Let's jump straight in. We need to start with Peskov. Peskov made this statement, and there it is on the left in the Russian. I've translated it for you. He confirms rejection of the Trump plan for peace. Peskov, the line of the Russian Federation regarding the stopping of troops at the current positions does not change. This topic has repeatedly been raised with different nuances in the course of Russian-American contacts, noted the press secretary of the president of Russia. So, no, there is a rejection of that from Russia. Now, I want to go back to the video where Donald Trump is actually talking about this on Air Force One en route. Here you go.
You said you had a cordial meeting with President Zelenskyy. During that meeting, did you tell him he needed to cede all of the Donbass region to Russia?
No, we never discussed it. We think that what they should do is just stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. You have a battle line right now. And the rest is very tough to negotiate. If you're going to say you take this, we take that, there's so many different permutations. So what I say is they should stop right now at the battle lines. Go home, stop killing people, and be done.
What do you think should happen with the Donbass region?
Let it be cut the way it is. It's cut up right now. I think 78% of the land is already taken by Russia. You leave it the way it is right now. They can negotiate something later on down the line. But I said cut and stop at the battle line. Go home. Stop fighting. Stop killing people.
So we know that President Trump stated that Putin and Zelenskyy hate each other. So now we'll just stop fighting, and down the road they can talk about how to figure this out. This is why Vladimir Putin is rejecting that peace plan, and also why Zelenskyy is rejecting that peace plan. In addition to this, now we just have statements moments ago coming out of the White House, Trump meeting with Australian Prime Minister, and he makes this statement.
Just a few weeks ago at UNGA, you said that Ukraine could possibly win the war and keep its territory, but now the story seems a bit different.
They will, but they could still win it. I never said they would win it. I said they could win. Anything can happen. War is a very strange thing. A lot of bad things happen, a lot of good things happen.
Do you now understand why Russia rejecting everything and Zelenskyy rejecting everything? Donald Trump is just shifting the way the wind blows. Now, I want to stay facts only on this video, no opinions. You've heard quotes, you've seen references, and now I'm going to summarize, and you can go watch the video. These are Zelenskyy's statements today, and he even drops a period, quote, a period. Let's go to this. Zelenskyy quoted today, regarding the Tomahawks, in my opinion, Trump does not want escalation with the Russians until he meets with them. Trump is essentially giving Putin one more chance. So there is a possibility here that another summit, we're talking about in Budapest, that could once again be the final straw for Trump. Now, of course, everyone has their opinion on that, but Ukraine wants to stay hopeful. He then says Budapest is not the best place for a peace meeting as Orban blocks Ukraine everywhere. He's right. He said the message "we stand where we stand the line of contact" is positive, meaning that there is a place where the line is not moving so much. Russia says they're going aggressive. Ukraine says they're going aggressive. It doesn't matter, but that line is there and Ukraine is holding it. He says Russia has not changed its position and demands that Ukraine completely withdraw from Donetsk and Lugansk regions, meaning lay down your arms, demilitarize, and leave. It is Russia. It's not going to happen. He said, during the talks, I tried to clarify, and this is on Friday, Russia's true intentions regarding a possible exchange of territories, but there is still no clear position from them. And then Zelensky drops the straightaway bomb. There will be no retreats from Donbass, period. End of quote. Continuing on, Zelensky said, from our negotiations, it is clear that if Ukraine eats, quote, what is put on the plate, that is a bad territorial solution, then they will try to resolve everything else without us, meaning it will be just Russia and the United States talking, and the decision will be delivered to Ukraine. He says that is not possible. Russia is again trying to impose the narrative that Ukraine is allegedly preparing a new offensive and Ukraine is the ones that do not want the ceasefire. And we know that Zelensky has daily basically stated, I'm ready for a full unconditional ceasefire and then we can talk. Putin influences the United States by using Russia's resources as his own. While Ukraine will not sell itself off, this is a fundamental difference between our countries. Zelensky also then made a direct statement about Witkoff. He says Witkoff does not understand what's going on here, and we know that. These are facts. Donald Trump himself said it in Egypt. He says that Witkoff stated Russia has added 4 regions to its constitution: Lugansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. If tomorrow, Zelensky says, Putin adds something else after the war ends, are we going to have to give up territory again? And then Zelensky turned it. He says, what if I decide to add Belgorod region to our constitution, the Kursk region? So does Russia have to leave those lands? Do you see, we're at the point of this is not going to work to lay down the arms. And that's why we have the rejection today, Putin stating it. Interesting to see what will unfold from that as that news filters through the White House and Zelensky as well. Maybe it already did filter, and that's why Trump says, well, I guess Ukraine could still win. I don't think they will, but I think they can. Lavrov and Rubio did have a conversation today. Lavrov held a phone conversation with Rubio discussing the organization of the summit in Budapest. There's no solid date, no solid information yet, but the two representatives discussed the concrete steps that are needed to implement it. And once again, Lavrov reminded Rubio that what will be on the table is what Trump and Putin discussed in the phone call on Thursday. And in addition to that, what was stated in Alaska, meaning Ukraine must lay down their weapons. Ukraine must withdraw from the Donetsk and Lugansk regions completely, and the list goes on. They're already putting the talking points out there. They're not going to change. Ryabkov today, after the Lavrov and Rubio call, clarified. He says, for Russia, the main thing now is to convey to the United States that the meeting between Putin and Trump in Alaska set the framework within which work must be done. There is no alternative path, and that is Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov, that's Lavrov's assistant. Once again, remember the Alaska meeting, we have learned that Trump got huffy and puffy and mad because all Putin did was give him historical lessons, and he got frustrated with that. That's what really happened, and Russia's not moving from that point. Sergei Shoigu. See, folks, this is what you have to understand about the Soviet propaganda, the Russian propaganda machine. When you come to a place where we could have a decision made and go one way or the other, they pile on together, all speaking the same narrative in different ways. Here's Sergei Shoigu. And guys, all of this happening today. Donbass and Novorossiya should be called historical regions of the Russian Federation, not new ones. This was stated by the president of the Russian Geographical Society, Sergei Shoigu, in an interview with TASS. He was the supreme commander, and now he's the president of the Russian Geographical Society. He sits on the Defense Council, and this is what he's saying. It's not, hey, we don't have a referendum to get them back. They're always ours. The same narrative that Putin's telling Trump, that Ryabkov is saying, that Lavrov is saying. They're all speaking the same thing. And then finally, as we close out, facts only, here's Kirill Dmitriev today going all in on this tunnel. I have a picture here with Witkoff, and I want you to remember who Dmitriev is. He is basically the economic guru for Vladimir Putin. He could be a potential president of Russia in the future, and that would not be good. But he's pushing this narrative of the Putin-Trump tunnel. I have Witkoff there because remember a few months ago, the United States lifted sanctions on Dmitriev so he could come to Washington, D.C. and meet with Witkoff in the White House. Hello, that's the guy. He writes, Putin-Trump tunnel AI video challenge. Create your best AI video of the Russia-Alaska tunnel. Use hashtag Putin-Trump tunnel and repost your video below. Winners, a 4-day trip to the Russian Far East or Alaska, or the first ride via the tunnel. And this is legit, folks. AI video competition on Twitter, X, the Putin-Trump tunnel hashtag. So now we have Kirill Dmitriev putting a contest out there. And if you win the prize, he'll even give you a trip to Alaska. That's what it says. Of course, the Far East or Alaska. How's that working for you today? These are the facts. And this is why Ukraine and those who are in the know like you understand it cannot be this way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing. A lot unfolding today. We will keep you posted. Be blessed.